In the packed Atlanta courthouse, the air was thick with tension as Rasheeda Frost sat stone-faced at the defendant's table, her designer suit crisp but her eyes red-rimmed from sleepless nights. The divorce hearing from Kirk Frost was supposed to be a quiet legal formality, splitting businesses, homes, and a decade of public mess, but nobody expected Jasmine to storm through those double doors like a hurricane in Louboutins. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Cameras flashed. Rasheeda's head snapped up, her perfectly glossed lips parting in pure shock. Jasmine, yes, that Jasmine, didn't even glance at the judge. She marched straight to the witness stand, heels clicking like gunshots, and slammed a thick manila envelope down so hard the bailiff jumped. You think this is over? Jasmine's voice cracked through the stunned silence, raw and venomous. Kirk didn't just cheat on you with me, Rasheeda. He's been hiding something way bigger, and I'm done protecting his sorry ass. Rasheeda shot to her feet, chair scraping backward. What the hell are you doing here? She hissed, voice trembling with years of buried rage. You already ruined my marriage, now you want to bury me too? Jasmine's eyes blazed with tears she refused to let fall. I'm not here for you. I'm here because that man destroyed both of us, and there's a baby involved that nobody knows about. The courtroom erupted. Phones flew up. Fans watching the live stream outside lost their minds, screaming in disbelief. Security rushed forward, but it was too late, the bomb had already dropped. Rasheeda's face drained of color, her hands shaking as she clutched the edge of the table. Kirk's lawyers were frantically whispering. And in that single heartbeat, the entire Frost empire, the clubs, the cars, the carefully curated reality TV fairy tale, cracked wide open. This wasn't just a divorce anymore. This was war, and Jasmine had just lit the fuse. The courtroom exploded into utter pandemonium the second Jasmine dropped that bombshell about the secret baby. Rasheeda Frost's face went ghostly pale, her hands gripping the table so tight her knuckles turned white, while Kirk Frost's lawyers jumped up shouting objections over the roar of the crowd, but the judge was banging his gavel demanding order, yet nothing could stop the chaos. Jasmine stood tall, her voice shaking with raw emotion as she continued, you think this divorce is just about money and cheating, Rasheeda? He has been lying to both of us for years and this baby proves it all. Rasheeda shot back, her voice breaking, what baby are you talking about, you homewrecker? You already destroyed my family, now you're making up stories to get attention. But Jasmine wasn't backing down, she pulled out papers from the envelope, waving them dramatically. The DNA test results are right here. Kirk is the father and he knew about it the whole time. He paid me to keep quiet while he was still playing happy husband on Love and Hip Hop. Fans watching the live stream were losing their minds, comments flooding in faster than the court reporters could type. Rasheeda, how could you not know? The betrayal cut deep. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda collapsed back into her chair, tears streaming down her face. The family was left divided, her sister whispering furiously in her ear while Kirk sat in the back row looking like a deer caught in headlights. This wasn't just any baby, this was the child born in secret 6 months ago while Rasheeda was still fighting to save her marriage. The stakes were personal for everyone involved. Jasmine had her own reasons for coming forward. She was tired of being the villain in this reality TV saga, tired of the late night calls from Kirk begging her to stay silent, but now with the divorce heating up she saw her chance to flip the script and expose the man who had played them both like pawns in his twisted game. The gallery was buzzing with whispers and shocked gasps as Jasmine recounted how the affair had started during a late-night studio session in Atlanta, Kirk promising her the world while Rasheeda was back home handling business deals and raising their kids alone. She thought it was love, Jasmine confessed through gritted teeth, but it was all lies. He kept me hidden in a luxury apartment across town, showering me with gifts to shut me up, and when I told him I was pregnant he flipped out, demanding I terminated because the timing would ruin his image on the show, but I refused, and that's when the real threats began. Rasheeda could barely breathe, listening to every detail, her heart shattering all over again in front of the entire courtroom in the world. The judge finally called a short recess, but the damage was done outside the courthouse. Fans had gathered in droves holding signs that read Team Rasheeda and Jasmine is done. Some were crying, some were screaming for justice. The Frost empire that had been built on camera perfect moments was crumbling live and in color. Social media was on fire with hashtags like Justice for Rasheeda and Kirk exposed trending worldwide. Friends from the Love and Hip Hop circle were blowing up their phones in disbelief. One close pal texted Rasheeda, girl, this is bigger than us, you need to fight back hard, while another reached out to Jasmine saying, I always knew he was shady, but a secret baby, that's next level. Back inside after the break, Jasmine wasn't finished. She dropped another twist, revealing that Kirk had actually visited the hospital the day the baby was born, posing as a family friend to avoid detection. He even signed the birth certificate under a fake name to keep everything under wraps. Rasheeda stood up again, her voice hoarse with fury. You expect me to believe this after everything we've been through, the arguments, the makeups, the public humiliations on national television? I gave that man my youth, my loyalty, my everything, and this is how he repays me. The tension between the two women crackled like electricity. electricity. Jasmine fired back, "I didn't come here to fight you, Rasheeda. I came because he destroyed us both and our children deserve the truth, even if it tears this whole facade apart." The lawyers were scrambling, filing motions left and right, trying to get Jasmine removed as a witness, but the judge overruled them, saying the evidence was relevant to the asset division and infidelity claims. The personal stakes couldn't have been higher for Rasheeda, who had poured her soul into building their businesses from the ground up, only to watch Kirk allegedly siphon money into secret accounts for Jasmine and the baby. Meanwhile, Kirk finally spoke up from his seat, his voice low and defensive. "This is all lies, Your Honor. She's just bitter and trying to extort me." But his eyes darted nervously toward Jasmine, betraying the fear that his house of cards was collapsing. The family drama spilled over as Rasheeda's mother arrived at the courthouse steps later that afternoon, clutching her pearls in disbelief. "How could my daughter endure this humiliation again?" The kids were kept far away from the cameras, but sources close to the family said they were devastated, hearing whispers about yet another sibling they never knew existed. Emotions ran high as old footage of happier times on the show flashed through everyone's minds: the lavish vacations, the club openings, the vows renewed on camera, all of it now tainted by this explosive revelation. Jasmine wasn't done yet. She hinted at more evidence hidden away: texts, emails, and even video calls that would prove Kirk had been funding a double life for years. Fans were shocked to their core, flooding comment sections with theories and support, some siding with Rasheeda, calling her the ultimate survivor, others sympathizing with Jasmine for finally speaking her truth. The courtroom felt like a pressure cooker ready to burst as the hearing resumed, with Jasmine taking the stand properly, now sworn in and ready to testify under oath. The air was thick with anticipation as she began detailing the financial trails Kirk had left behind, accounts in the Cayman Islands funneled through shell companies, all to support the child he refused to acknowledge publicly. Rasheeda sat there listening, her world spinning. The woman who had once defended Kirk through every scandal, every cheating rumor, was now facing the ultimate betrayal, one that involved an innocent life caught in the crossfire of their messy public divorce. The drama was far from over, but in that moment the entire Frost legacy hung in the balance, divided by lies, secrets, and a bombshell that no one saw coming. The crowd outside chanted for answers, while inside the legal teams prepared for a long battle ahead. But for Rasheeda and Jasmine, this was personal. This was about healing from the pain Kirk had inflicted. And as the clock ticked toward the end of the day's session, another twist loomed on the horizon, one that would change everything yet again, leaving the family, the fans, and the whole entertainment world on the edge of their seats, wondering what other skeletons were about to tumble out of the closet in this never-ending reality TV nightmare. But as the recess ended and everyone filed back into the stuffy courtroom, the real fireworks were just getting started. Jasmine took the stand again, her hands trembling slightly as she swore to tell the whole truth. This time Rasheeda Frost sat rigid like a statue, her eyes locked on the woman who had upended her entire world, while Kirk Frost shifted uncomfortably in his seat, sweat beading on his forehead under the harsh courtroom lights. "You have no idea what kind of man he really is," Jasmine began, her voice steady at first but building with every word. "He didn't just cheat, he manipulated us both into silence with empty promises and cash payoffs. I have the bank statements right here showing transfers from their joint business accounts into my account every month for the last 2 years." Rasheeda Frost's lawyer leapt up, objecting wildly, but the judge waved him off, demanding Jasmine continue, and that's when she dropped the next layer of the bombshell, revealing that Kirk Frost had actually tried to buy her silence with a stake in one of their Atlanta nightclubs, the very same club Rasheeda Frost had poured her blood, sweat, and tears into building from scratch. Fans outside the courthouse were glued to their phones, live streaming every second, and the internet exploded with reactions, some calling Jasmine a hero for exposing the truth, others labeling her a calculated opportunist who waited for the divorce to strike. Emotions ran high inside the Frost family circle as Rasheeda Frost's sister stormed out briefly to call their mother, whispering frantically about how this secret baby could destroy the kids' lives forever. Meanwhile, Kirk Frost's own mother arrived unannounced, pushing through the crowd with tears in her eyes, pleading with the bailiffs to let her speak to her son privately, but security held firm. The family was left divided like never before, with some relatives siding with Rasheeda Frost and vowing to stand by her through the asset battles, while others quietly admitted they had suspected Kirk Frost's double life all along. Back on the stand, Jasmine wasn't holding back anymore. She recounted in vivid detail the night the affair turned serious during a love and hip-hop afterparty, when Kirk Frost pulled her aside in a dimly lit VIP section, whispering sweet nothings about leaving Rasheeda Frost for good. He said I was his soulmate, his future, and that the marriage was already over in his heart. Rasheeda Frost couldn't take it anymore. She jumped up, pointing a finger straight at Jasmine. "You liar, you knew he was married, you knew about our children, and you still went there. How dare you stand here playing victim when you were the one chasing him for clout?" The courtroom gasped as the two women locked eyes in a stare down that felt like it lasted forever. Jasmine shot back through clenched teeth, "I was young and stupid, Rasheeda Frost, but he preyed on that. He made me believe I was the only one who understood his struggles, the music, the pressure of fame, while you were too busy being the perfect wife on camera." The betrayal cut so deep that Rasheeda Frost had to be physically restrained by her attorney from approaching the stand, her voice cracking with years of pent-up pain. "I trusted you, Kirk. I defended you on national television through every rumor, every scandal, and this is how you repay me, by fathering a child behind my back and hiding it with dirty money." The judge called for order, banging the gavel repeatedly, but the damage was spreading like wildfire. fire outside. Fans were chanting Rasheeda Frost's name, some holding up signs that read exposed, while others waved support for Jasmine, saying she deserved justice too. Social media was a battlefield with hashtags like Frost Family Fraud and Jasmine Truth trending at lightning speed. Close friends from the Love and Hip Hop cast started posting cryptic stories. One former collaborator DM'd Rasheeda Frost saying, "Girl, I always warned you about his wandering eyes, but a whole secret family, that's diabolical." Another reached out to Kirk Frost urging him to come clean before it got uglier. The personal stakes were skyrocketing for everyone involved. Rasheeda Frost had built an empire with Kirk Frost, the clothing lines, the restaurants, the reality show fame, and now it was all at risk of being split in ways that could leave her financially ruined, especially if the secret baby meant more child support and asset claims. Jasmine, on the other hand, was fighting for her child's future, tired of living in the shadows and ready to claim what she believed was rightfully hers. The hearing dragged on into the afternoon, with lawyers presenting financial documents that showed Kirk Frost had funneled over $200,000 into offshore accounts linked to Jasmine and the baby. Rasheeda Frost listened in stunned silence, her world crumbling as each receipt was read aloud. This wasn't just infidelity, this was calculated deception on a massive scale, twisting the knife deeper into their already fractured marriage. Kirk Frost finally took the stand himself, his voice defensive and shaky. "Your Honor, none of this is true. She's fabricating stories for a payday. I never knew about any baby until recently, and those payments were for business consulting, nothing more." But Jasmine laughed bitterly from her seat, interrupting him with facts. "You paid for my prenatal care, Kirk. You were there for the ultrasound, pretending to be my cousin to avoid being recognized. How can you sit there and lie with a straight face?" The tension between them was electric. Fans watching were on the edge of their seats, some yelling at their screens in disbelief as the drama unfolded live. The family drama escalated when Rasheeda Frost's teenage son sent a text that somehow leaked to the press, expressing his confusion and anger toward his father. "How could Dad do this to Mom?" And as the public outcry grew louder, with entertainment outlets scrambling to get comments from anyone connected to the Frosts, one insider close to the couple revealed that Kirk Frost had been planning this divorce for months, quietly moving assets while keeping up the happy facade on social media. But Jasmine, coming forward, had blown all his plans apart. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda Frost broke down in court for the first time, sobbing openly about the nights she spent alone, wondering why Kirk Frost was distant while he was apparently building a second life. "I gave everything to this man, my career, my body, my soul, and he treated me like an option." The courtroom fell silent for a moment, respecting her raw vulnerability. Even Jasmine looked momentarily sympathetic, but the twists kept coming when a surprise witness was called, a former club manager who testified that Kirk Frost had bragged about his secret family during late-night drinking sessions, saying Rasheeda Frost would never find out because she was too focused on the business. The revelation hit like a thunderbolt, dividing opinions even further. Some fans turned on Kirk Frost completely, calling him the ultimate villain, while others accused Jasmine of being in on the scheme. For years, the legal teams were in full battle mode, filing emergency motions to seal records, but the judge refused, saying the public interest in this high-profile case demanded transparency. Back at the Frost mansion later that evening, cameras caught Rasheeda Frost arriving home looking exhausted but determined. She gathered her inner circle for an emergency meeting where they plotted their next moves in the divorce war. Sources say she was ready to fight for every penny and every custody right to protect her children from the fallout. Meanwhile, Jasmine was spotted leaving the courthouse with her own lawyer, smiling faintly as if a weight had been lifted. But the real storm was brewing behind closed doors, where Kirk Frost confronted her in a heated parking lot argument caught on blurry cell phone video. "You've ruined everything," he hissed, but Jasmine stood her ground. "No, Kirk, you ruined it the day you chose lies over honesty." The video went viral instantly, amplifying the chaos and leaving fans divided on who to believe. As night fell on Atlanta, the entertainment world couldn't stop talking about the case. Late-night shows were already joking about the Frost saga, while reality TV producers whispered about potential spin-offs. The personal conflicts ran deeper than anyone imagined. Rasheeda Frost grappling with the fear of losing her hard-earned independence, Jasmine battling guilt and determination for her child's sake, and Kirk Frost watching his empire slip through his fingers in slow motion. The next day in court brought even more explosive developments when Jasmine revealed hidden text messages proving Kirk Frost had discussed dissolving the marriage months before the public announcement. He even joked about using the show to paint himself as the victim. Rasheeda Frost read the messages aloud, her voice filled with disbelief and rage. "This is the man I married, the one I thought would grow old with me." Fans were shocked to their core, flooding every comment section with support and outrage. The family was left even more fractured as Rasheeda Frost's father issued a rare public statement condemning Kirk Frost's actions and vowing to stand by his daughter through the legal firestorm. Emotions ran so high that security had to escort several heated spectators out of the gallery after outbursts. The drama wasn't confined to the courthouse either. Back in their shared social circle, old castmates were taking sides publicly. One longtime friend posted a lengthy Instagram story defending Rasheeda Frost and slamming Kirk Frost for his deceit, while another subtly supported Jasmine, saying sometimes the truth hurts but it sets you free. The stakes felt impossibly personal for Rasheeda Frost, who had sacrificed her own dreams to build their brand only to see it tainted by scandal, and for Jasmine, who had endured years of secrecy and now faced public judgment as the other woman. The hearing continued continued with financial experts dissecting the couple's tangled assets, revealing that Kirk Frost had allegedly hidden profits from their joint ventures to fund his double life. Rasheeda Frost demanded full disclosure, her attorney arguing that the secret baby entitled her to a larger share of the marital property. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as more documents were presented showing luxury purchases for Jasmine that mirrored gifts Kirk Frost had given Rasheeda Frost during happier times. The parallels were eerie and heartbreaking, twisting the knife of betrayal even deeper. Kirk Frost tried to defend himself again, claiming the affair was a mistake blown out of proportion, but Jasmine countered with timestamps and locations proving repeated meetings across multiple states. The evidence was overwhelming and the judge appeared visibly frustrated with the web of lies unraveling before him. Outside the courthouse, a growing crowd of supporters held vigils, some praying for healing, others demanding accountability from the entire Frost family. The media frenzy reached fever pitch, with helicopters circling overhead and reporters camping out for any glimpse of the key players as the day wore on. Another twist emerged when a mysterious envelope was delivered to the court containing photos of Kirk Frost with Jasmine and the baby at a private park outing months earlier. Rasheeda Frost stared at the images, her face a mask of pain and fury. How many more secrets are there, she whispered to her lawyer. The family drama spilled into the evening news, with anchors dissecting every angle and psychologists weighing in on the emotional toll on all involved. Fans were left reeling, speculating wildly about what would happen next. Would Rasheeda Frost forgive or fight to the end? Could Jasmine and her child find peace amid the spotlight, or was this just the beginning of a longer, more painful battle? The entire entertainment industry held its breath as the Frost empire teetered on the brink of total collapse, divided by accusations, betrayals, and a reality that no script could have predicted. The tension built with every passing hour, every new revelation pulling the public deeper into this sensational saga of love lost, trust shattered, and fortunes at stake. And through it all, the two women at the center stood as symbols of strength and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, leaving everyone wondering if reconciliation was even possible, or if the bombshells would keep dropping until nothing remained of the once glamorous Frost legacy. But as the sun set on another dramatic day in court, the stage was set for even greater revelations, with lawyers preparing overnight for the next round and the world watching intently for the next chapter in this unforgettable reality TV nightmare that showed no signs of slowing down. The morning after brought even more shocking developments as the hearing resumed, with a packed gallery and live streams hitting record views. Jasmine returned to the stand looking more determined than ever, her eyes blazing with the fire of someone who had nothing left to lose, while Rasheeda Frost sat there clutching a tissue, her makeup flawless but her spirit visibly cracking under the weight of every new revelation. Kirk Frost paced in the hallway during a brief delay, his phone buzzing nonstop with messages from worried business partners and desperate friends begging him to fix this mess before the Frost empire completely imploded. You think you know betrayal, Rasheeda Frost, Jasmine continued, her voice echoing through the tense room, but let me tell you about the night he came to my apartment right after filming that fake reconciliation episode with you. He was laughing about how easy it was to keep the cameras fooled while he was texting me love notes and baby names. The courtroom fell into stunned silence as Jasmine pulled out her phone and played an audio recording that had everyone leaning forward in their seats. It was Kirk Frost's voice, clear as day, saying, "I can't wait to make this official with you and the baby. Just give me time to wrap up the divorce without losing everything." Rasheeda Frost gasped audibly, her hand flying to her mouth as tears welled up again. This is the man who swore on our children's lives that the rumors were lies. Fans watching from home were in absolute uproar, flooding social media with screenshots and theories. The family was left divided once more when Rasheeda Frost's brother showed up at the courthouse demanding to speak to Kirk Frost face to face. Security had to intervene as the two men exchanged heated words in the corridor. "You destroyed my sister, you piece of trash," the brother yelled, while Kirk Frost tried to play it cool, saying it was all a misunderstanding blown out of proportion by a scorned woman. But Jasmine wasn't finished. She dropped yet another bombshell, revealing that Kirk Frost had actually proposed to her in secret during a romantic getaway in Miami while Rasheeda Frost was home dealing with their son's school issues. "He even bought me a ring," Jasmine confessed, pulling out a small velvet box from her purse. The judge allowed it as evidence, and the diamond sparkled under the lights like a symbol of all the lies Rasheeda Frost couldn't hold back anymore. She stood up, her voice raw with pain. "You proposed to her while I was planning our anniversary dinner. How could you be so cruel?" Kirk Frost. The emotions ran high as the two women stared each other down, not with hatred anymore but with a shared understanding of the pain Kirk Frost had caused them both. Outside the courthouse, a massive crowd had formed, some holding candles in solidarity with Rasheeda Frost, others waving posters supporting Jasmine and her right to truth. Entertainment news vans lined the streets with reporters giving live updates every few minutes. Hashtags like Frost Bombshell and Secret Baby Exposed were trending globally, and even celebrity friends from the industry were weighing in. One famous rapper posted a cryptic tweet saying, "Some men never learn," while a reality star from another show DM'd Rasheeda Frost, offering private support and advice on navigating the media storm. The personal stakes couldn't be higher for Rasheeda Frost, who had invested years into their joint ventures only to discover through Jasmine's testimony that Kirk Frost had been secretly diverting profits to a trust fund for the hidden child. Lawyers on both sides argued fiercely over the financial disclosures, with Rasheeda Frost's team demanding an immediate audit of all accounts tied to the clubs and clothing line. Back on the stand, Jasmine shared more intimate details about the pregnancy, the morning sickness she hid from everyone, the lonely doctor's appointments where she pretended to be single, and the terrifying moment she went into labor alone. Because Kirk Frost was too scared to show up publicly, I named the baby after his favorite uncle, she said softly. The courtroom hung on every word as she described the first time Kirk Frost held the infant in a back alley meeting arranged like some spy thriller to avoid paparazzi. Rasheeda Frost listened with her head bowed, the betrayal cutting deeper with each revelation. Yet there was a strange moment of sisterhood when Jasmine looked directly at her and said, "I never wanted to hurt you, Rasheeda Frost. I just wanted my child to have a father who wasn't ashamed." The judge called for a lunch break, but no one really left the building. Fans outside chanted for justice, while inside the Frost family huddled in private rooms trying to process the chaos. Rasheeda Frost's mother was seen crying in the restroom, telling a confidant, "My daughter deserved better than this circus." The drama escalated further in the afternoon session when a forensic accountant took the stand and confirmed Jasmine's claims about the hidden money trails, over $500,000 siphoned away over 3 years. Kirk Frost exploded from his chair, yelling, "This is a witch hunt, Your Honor," but the evidence was ironclad. With emails and wire transfers presented one after another, emotions ran so high that Rasheeda Frost broke down again, sobbing about how she had ignored warning signs from friends who said Kirk Frost was acting strange during tour stops. "I thought it was stress from the show," she whispered. "I defended him through everything, and now my kids have to grow up knowing their father had a whole other family." The family was left even more fractured as Kirk Frost's side of the relatives began distancing themselves publicly. One cousin posted on social media that blood is thicker than water, but lies are thicker than blood. Fans were shocked by the swift backlash, with some boycotting Love and Hip Hop reruns altogether. The twists kept piling up when Jasmine revealed text messages showing Kirk Frost had discussed faking a paternity test to deny the child if things got messy. He even suggested paying off doctors. Rasheeda Frost read the messages herself, her hands shaking as she demanded answers from the man she once loved. How many more women were there, Kirk? How many more secrets are you hiding? The courtroom buzzed with whispers as Kirk Frost finally took the stand again, his defense crumbling under cross-examination. He admitted to some of the affair but claimed the baby news was recent and that he was trying to do right by everyone, which only made Jasmine laugh bitterly in the background. "Do right by everyone," she echoed. "You mean do right by your image on camera while I raised our child in hiding?" The legal battle turned uglier as Rasheeda Frost's attorney pushed for emergency custody reviews and asset freezes, arguing that Kirk Frost's actions showed he couldn't be trusted with any shared businesses. The judge seemed inclined to agree given the mountain of evidence mounting against him. Outside the courthouse, a protest broke out with women holding signs reading "Protect the Mothers" and "Expose the Cheaters." Media helicopters circled overhead, capturing the scene for evening news broadcasts that reached millions. The personal conflicts deepened as Rasheeda Frost faced the reality of rebuilding her life alone, while Jasmine fought for legitimacy for her child in the eyes of the law and the public. Friends from the cast started choosing sides publicly. One longtime ally of Rasheeda Frost released a statement saying she stood with the queen of the Frost Empire, while another subtly supported Jasmine, saying every child deserves truth no matter the cost. The hearing stretched into the evening with more witnesses called, including a former bodyguard who testified to driving Kirk Frost to secret meetings with Jasmine late at night. The details painted a picture of a double life so elaborate it rivaled any reality TV plot. Fans were left reeling, speculating in comment sections about whether this would end the Frost brand forever or spark a comeback story. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda Frost delivered her own emotional testimony, recounting the vows they exchanged on camera, the private moments that never made it to air, and the dreams they shared for their family. "I built this life with him," she said, her voice strong despite the tears, "and he tore it apart with lies and another woman and a baby I knew nothing about." Jasmine listened intently, nodding at times as if finally seeing the full scope of the damage. The family drama spilled over into late-night calls between relatives, some urging reconciliation for the children's sake, others pushing for all-out war in the divorce courts. The stakes were personal for every player involved, Rasheeda Frost fighting to preserve her dignity and financial future, Jasmine seeking validation after years of secrecy, and Kirk Frost desperately trying to salvage what was left of his reputation. As the day ended with the judge adjourning until morning, another surprise twist emerged when a mysterious package arrived at the clerk's office containing old videos from Kirk Frost's phone showing him celebrating the baby's birth with Jasmine in a hotel room. The footage leaked almost immediately online and the internet went wild with reactions. The entire entertainment world was captivated by this saga that had become bigger than any scripted show. The tension built with every passing hour, every new piece of evidence pulling the public deeper into the web of deceit and desire. The Frost legacy hung in the balance, divided by accusations, betrayals, and raw human emotions that no amount of money or fame could erase. And through it all, the two women at the center of the storm stood tall, facing an uncertain future but united in their resolve to expose the truth no matter how painful it got, leaving fans and followers around the globe glued to their screens, wondering what explosive revelation would drop next in this gripping reality TV drama that refused to let anyone look away. As night fell over Atlanta, the lawyers burned the midnight oil, preparing for tomorrow, while sources close to the case hinted at even bigger bombshells waiting in the wings, including possible involvement from other women and hidden business deals that could rock the entire hip-hop industry to its core. The family remained torn with Rasheeda Frost's children. Shielded from the worst of it but old enough to sense the world shifting beneath their feet, Jasmine returned to her quiet apartment hugging her baby tight and whispering promises of a better tomorrow. Free from the shadows, Kirk Frost sat alone in his luxury car staring at the city lights, knowing his carefully constructed world was on the verge of total collapse. The drama was far from over, but in that quiet moment before the next court day, the weight of every secret, every lie, and every broken promise hung heavy in the air, promising more twists, more tears, and more unforgettable moments that would keep the whole world talking for months to come. The stage was set for the ultimate showdown where love turned to dust, fortunes teetered on the edge, and two fierce women refused to back down from the fight of their lives. As the third day of the hearing dawned, the courtroom was even more crowded than before, with reporters and fans fighting for seats. Jasmine walked in wearing a bold red dress symbolizing her fight for truth, while Rasheeda Frost arrived looking composed yet exhausted, her team of lawyers surrounding her like a protective shield. Kirk Frost slunk in late, avoiding eye contact with anyone. The judge called the session to order, but the air was already electric with anticipation. "You thought yesterday was bad, Rasheeda Frost," Jasmine said from the stand, pulling out yet another folder of documents. "This time it is about the offshore accounts he set up, not just for the baby but for a whole network of side businesses he was running behind your back." The gallery erupted in whispers as Jasmine detailed how Kirk Frost had funneled money into shell companies in the Bahamas, using their love and hip-hop fame as cover to invest in shady ventures that had nothing to do with their family empire. Rasheeda Frost's eyes widened in horror as the numbers rolled out. Over $1 million diverted while she was busting her back to keep the clothing line afloat and the club's profitable fans watching live were screaming at their screens, some throwing their phones in rage, others crying for Rasheeda Frost. The family was left divided even further when Kirk Frost's own father showed up unannounced, demanding a private huddle with his son in the hallway. Security barely contained the shouting match that ensued. "You raised me better than this," the older man growled, but Kirk Frost just shrugged it off, claiming it was all business and Jasmine was twisting facts to destroy him. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda Frost took the stand herself for the first time, her voice steady at first, recounting the early days of their marriage when they were broke but in love, building everything from scratch. "I believed in you, Kirk," she said, turning to face him directly. "I gave up my dreams to support yours, and this is the thanks I get: a secret child, a secret life, and now secret businesses that could land us all in jail." The courtroom fell silent as she broke down, describing the lonely nights when he was supposedly on business trips but was actually with Jasmine planning their future without her. Jasmine listened intently, her own tears falling as she nodded in agreement. For the first time, the two women seemed to share a bond forged in the fire of the same month's deceit. The judge allowed a short break, but outside the chaos only grew. Fans had set up a makeshift camp with posters reading "Justice for the Frost Women" and "Kirk Exposed Forever." Social media was ablaze with live reactions from celebrities. One hip-hop mogul tweeted, "This is why you don't mix business with pleasure," while a fellow reality star from another show posted a video saying, "Rasheeda Frost, you are the definition of strength, sis." The personal stakes were mounting for everyone. Rasheeda Frost worried about losing custody battles over their shared kids if the financial mess dragged on. Jasmine fought not just for child support but for her name to be cleared from the other woman label that had haunted her for years. And Kirk Frost watched his empire of lies crumble one document at a time. Back inside after the break, a new witness took the stand, a former business partner of Kirk Frost who dropped yet another bombshell, revealing that the secret baby wasn't the only hidden family member. There was talk of another child from years earlier. Before Jasmine even entered the picture, Rasheeda Frost nearly fainted in her seat, clutching her chest as the partner described how Kirk Frost had paid off the first woman to disappear quietly. "You have got to be kidding me," Rasheeda Frost whispered, her lawyer jumping up to demand more details. The family drama exploded when Rasheeda Frost's sister confronted Kirk Frost in the lobby later that morning. "You are a walking disaster," she yelled, cameras catching every second, while he tried to brush her off, saying it was all fabricated for ratings. But the evidence kept piling up, with bank records, phone logs, and even hotel receipts proving multiple affairs over the decade. The tension between Jasmine and Rasheeda Frost shifted from rivalry to something like reluctant respect when Jasmine approached her during a recess and said quietly, "I never wanted any of this to happen like this. I was just trying to survive his games." Rasheeda Frost looked at her for a long moment before replying, "Maybe we both were victims in his twisted game, but that doesn't erase the pain." Fans were shocked by the evolving dynamics, some rooting for a united front against Kirk Frost, others still picking sides in the comment sections that were now millions deep. The hearing resumed with Kirk Frost on the hot seat again, his lawyers scrambling as Jasmine's team presented video evidence of him celebrating the baby's first birthday in a private suite while Rasheeda Frost was at a family event alone. He squirmed under the cross-examination, admitting to some financial irregularities but denying any knowledge of additional children. "This is all a setup," he shouted, his voice cracking for the first time. The judge warned him to calm down, but the damage was done. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda Frost delivered a powerful closing statement. "For the day I stood by you through scandals, through rumors, through everything the public threw at us, and you repaid me with betrayal after betrayal. My children deserve better than a father who lives a double life." The courtroom applauded softly as she sat down, Jasmine adding her own emotional plea, "For the record, Your Honor, all I want is for my child child to know their father without shame, and for Rasheeda Frost to get what she deserves after years of carrying this man on her back. The family was left in absolute turmoil, with Rasheeda Frost's kids reportedly refusing to speak to their dad after hearing snippets of the news. Kirk Frost's mother was seen leaving the courthouse in tears, telling reporters, "My son has a lot to answer for." The public reactions poured in from every corner of the entertainment world. Late-night hosts were already scripting monologues about the Frost saga, while online petitions circulated demanding the Love and Hip Hop producers address the scandal on air. The stakes felt impossibly personal as Rasheeda Frost faced the possibility of losing half her empire in the asset division if the hidden accounts weren't recovered. Jasmine battled public scrutiny and online hate from Kirk Frost loyalists, while he himself spiraled into damage control mode, hiring crisis managers and posting vague social media messages about forgiveness and growth. But no one was buying it. The drama spilled over into the night when paparazzi caught Jasmine and Rasheeda Frost leaving separately, but their cars passing each other in a moment that fans interpreted as symbolic of their shared journey. The next morning brought fresh twists when a surprise affidavit from a former nanny surfaced, claiming she had witnessed Kirk Frost visiting Jasmine's home multiple times with gifts for the baby while Rasheeda Frost was filming scenes for the show. The nanny described heated arguments where Kirk Frost would brag about keeping everything under wraps. Rasheeda Frost read the document in court, her face a mask of disbelief and fury. How many people knew about this, she demanded, turning to Kirk Frost, who looked pale and defeated. The family divisions deepened as cousins and uncles from both sides began posting their own takes on social media, some defending Kirk Frost as a man under pressure, others rallying around Rasheeda Frost as the true backbone of the brand. Emotions ran so high that a group of supporters organized a rally outside the courthouse with signs proclaiming women deserve better and end the Frost facade. Jasmine took the stand once more, revealing text messages where Kirk Frost had joked about using their reality TV platform to spin the narrative in his favor. After the divorce, I was his pawn, she said bitterly, and so were you, Rasheeda Frost. The two women exchanged a glance that spoke volumes of mutual understanding. Amid the chaos, the legal teams argued late into the afternoon over emergency injunctions to freeze all assets until the full audit was complete. The judge seemed swayed by the mountain of evidence leaning toward Rasheeda Frost's favor in preliminary rulings. Fans were glued to every update, some creating fan edits of old show clips juxtaposed with the current drama to highlight the hypocrisy. The personal conflicts reached a boiling point when Kirk Frost finally broke down on the stand, admitting through tears that he had made mistakes but insisting he loved both women in different ways. Rasheeda Frost scoffed audibly while Jasmine rolled her eyes. You don't get to love us after destroying us, she fired back. The courtroom buzzed with agreement as more witnesses came forward, including a financial advisor who confessed to helping Kirk Frost hide assets for years. The revelations kept coming like waves crashing down on the Frost legacy. One after another, the family was fractured beyond repair, with Rasheeda Frost's inner circle planning a complete rebrand without Kirk Frost, while his own allies quietly jumped ship to avoid the backlash. The entertainment industry watched in fascination as this real-life drama outshone any scripted reality show. The tension built with every passing hour, every new piece of evidence pulling the public deeper into the saga of love lost, trust shattered, and fortunes at stake. As the week drew to a close, another major twist loomed when lawyers announced they had uncovered evidence of Kirk Frost planning to elope with Jasmine after the divorce was finalized, complete with fake identities and a private island getaway. Rasheeda Frost sat in stunned silence as the documents were read aloud, her world spinning yet again. Jasmine looked equally shocked, denying any knowledge of the plan, but the emails proved otherwise. Emotions ran higher than ever as the two women confronted the depth of Kirk Frost's manipulation. The family drama reached new heights when Rasheeda Frost's children were brought into a private mediation session where they expressed their hurt and confusion to their father. The public learned of it through leaked audio that spread like wildfire. Fans were divided, some calling for Kirk Frost to be cancelled forever, others hoping for a redemptive arc, but the evidence suggested redemption was far off. The hearing continued with intense cross-examinations and emotional testimonies that left everyone drained yet captivated. The stakes were personal for Rasheeda Frost, fighting to secure her future and her children's stability, for Jasmine seeking legitimacy and support after years in the shadows, and for Kirk Frost desperately clinging to what remained of his reputation. As the sun set on another explosive day, the lawyers prepared for what promised to be the most dramatic week yet, with hints of more witnesses, more documents, and possibly a surprise appearance from another woman in Kirk Frost's past. The entire world was hooked on this unfolding nightmare that blurred the lines between reality TV and real life. The Frost empire teetered on the brink, divided by secrets, lies, and the unbreakable bond of two women who had been pushed to their limits but refused to break. The drama showed no signs of slowing down, promising even more heart-wrenching moments, more shocking revelations, and more unforgettable confrontations that would keep fans talking, debating, and obsessing for years to come. The stage was bigger than ever, and the players were ready for whatever came next in this sensational saga of betrayal, power, and resilience that had captured the hearts and minds of millions. As the week pressed on with no end in sight, the courtroom became a battlefield of emotions and evidence. Jasmine returned stronger than ever, her voice cutting through the silence like a knife as she revealed yet another layer of Kirk Frost's deception. This time it was about a second secret property he had purchased in Miami using funds from their joint joint clothing line, a luxury condo where he had allegedly hosted multiple women including Jasmine during secret getaways while Rasheeda Frost was back in Atlanta filming promotional segments for Love and Hip Hop. Rasheeda Frost's face twisted in fresh agony as the property deeds were slapped onto the evidence table, her hands shaking with a mix of fury and exhaustion. "You bought a love nest with our money," she hissed across the room, her attorney barely able to restrain her from standing. The gallery erupted in gasps and murmurs. Fans outside the courthouse who had been camping out for days cheered wildly, some waving homemade banners that read "Rasheeda deserves it all," while others held up phones streaming the moment lived to millions. The family was left divided once again when Kirk Frost's siblings arrived in a show of support only to be met with icy glares from Rasheeda Frost's side of the relatives. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda Frost took the stand for a second emotional round, recounting how she had sacrificed her own music career dreams to manage their empire while Kirk Frost was out living a double life. "I built this from nothing," she declared, her voice rising with every word. "I turned our bedroom arguments into ratings gold, and this is what I get: a condo for your side pieces and another hidden baby." The judge banged his gavel demanding order, but the tension was too thick to cut. Jasmine nodded from her seat, her eyes meeting Rasheeda Frost's in a moment of raw understanding that sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Fans were shocked to see the two women exchanging what looked like silent solidarity against the man who had played them both. The personal stakes skyrocketed when financial experts testified that the Miami property was just the tip of the iceberg. Kirk Frost had been using Love and Hip Hop production advances to fund private jets and lavish trips for Jasmine and the child, all while Rasheeda Frost was pinching pennies to keep their kids in elite schools. Kirk Frost jumped up in protest, his face red with denial. "This is character assassination, Your Honor," he bellowed, but Jasmine fired back instantly with printed flight manifests and hotel bookings proving he had been there multiple times. "You flew me out the same weekend you told Rasheeda Frost you were in the studio mixing tracks," she snapped. The courtroom buzzed with whispers as more texts were read aloud, Kirk Frost begging Jasmine to keep their son a secret until the divorce was final so he could negotiate a better settlement. The family drama spilled over into the hallways where Rasheeda Frost's mother confronted Kirk Frost's father in a heated exchange caught on camera. "You raised a liar and a cheat," she accused him while he defended his son, saying boys will be boys. The public outcry grew deafening, with entertainment blogs posting minute-by-minute updates and hashtags like FrostFraud and Jasmine exposes all dominating every platform. Close friends from the Love and Hip Hop cast began to distance themselves publicly. One former co-star posted a lengthy video saying, "I saw the red flags but never imagined it was this deep. Rasheeda Frost, you were a warrior, sis," while another subtly shaded Kirk Frost with memes about hidden families. The hearing dragged into late afternoon with a surprise appearance from a former club promoter who testified that Kirk Frost had bragged about having multiple baby mamas lined up to secure his legacy if the marriage failed. Rasheeda Frost broke down, hearing the words, her sobs echoing as she whispered, "How many more are there, Kirk?" The judge called for a brief recess, but the damage was irreversible. Outside, fans organized an impromptu march chanting for asset justice and child support reform. Jasmine was seen hugging her lawyer tightly, whispering about finally feeling heard after years of silence. The twists kept coming when Rasheeda Frost's attorney presented emails showing Kirk Frost had tried to pressure Jasmine into signing an NDA months before the hearing, offering her a lump sum to disappear with the baby. Emotions ran so high that security had to remove a disruptive spectator who yelled support for Jasmine from the back row. The family remained fractured, with Rasheeda Frost's children reportedly writing letters to the court expressing their disappointment in their father. Sources close to the family said the kids were struggling with the constant media glare but were proud of their mom for fighting back. Kirk Frost sat slumped in his chair, looking defeated as more evidence mounted against him, his lawyers scrambling to object at every turn. But the judge was having none of it. The personal conflicts deepened as Jasmine shared stories of lonely holidays spent with the baby while Kirk Frost was posting fake family photos with Rasheeda Frost on social media. "I watched him celebrate your anniversary on TV," she told the court, "while I was changing diapers alone." Rasheeda Frost listened, her expression softening slightly toward Jasmine. The two women seemed to be forming an unlikely alliance against the common enemy. Fans were shocked by the evolving narrative, some even starting petitions for a joint custody arrangement that included Jasmine's child. The drama escalated further when a leaked audio from Kirk Frost's phone surfaced showing him joking with a friend about how Rasheeda Frost would never suspect the Miami condo because she was too busy being the breadwinner. The clip went viral, instantly amplifying the betrayal and leaving the Frost empire in tatters. Social media was a war zone, with supporters splitting into teams, but the majority rallying behind Rasheeda Frost as the ultimate survivor. The legal teams battled fiercely over proposed settlements, Rasheeda Frost demanding full ownership of the businesses and a public apology from Kirk Frost, while Jasmine pushed for guaranteed child support and visitation rights. The judge appeared exhausted by the endless revelations but determined to see justice through. As the day wound down, another bombshell dropped when a third woman contacted the court claiming she too had a child with Kirk Frost from years ago before Jasmine. The affidavit detailed payments and cover-ups that mirrored the current scandal. Rasheeda Frost nearly collapsed in her seat, whispering, "This can't be real." The family was left in absolute chaos, with relatives from both sides calling emergency meetings to discuss damage control. Emotions ran high as Rasheeda Frost delivered yet another powerful statement. I thought the pain couldn't get worse, but every day in this room it does. Kirk, you have destroyed more lives than I can count. Fans poured into the streets holding candlelight vigils for the affected women and children. Media outlets scrambled to interview anyone with a connection to the case, turning the divorce into a national spectacle. Late-night comedians roasted the situation, while serious analysts discussed the impact on reality TV ethics. The stakes felt impossibly personal for Rasheeda Frost, who faced the grim reality of rebuilding her brand from scratch. Jasmine, who fought daily against online trolls labeling her a gold digger, and Kirk Frost, who was now persona non grata in the industry. The hearing continued with intense cross-examinations that exposed even more financial entanglements, including hidden investments in music labels that Kirk Frost had used to launder money for his secret life. Rasheeda Frost demanded transparency, her voice strong despite the exhaustion. I want every penny accounted for and every lie exposed. The courtroom hung on her every word as Jasmine added her testimony about the emotional abuse she endured from Kirk Frost's constant gaslighting. The two women shared a quiet moment during a sidebar where Rasheeda Frost reportedly told Jasmine, "We both deserved better." The family divisions showed no signs of healing, with Kirk Frost's mother issuing a tearful public apology on social media, while Rasheeda Frost's father vowed to protect his daughter at all costs. The public reactions were overwhelming, with donation drives started to support single mothers affected by similar situations and calls for stricter laws on celebrity asset hiding. As night fell over the city, the lawyers prepared mountains of paperwork for the next session, hinting at even more witnesses, including possible love and hip-hop producers who might have known about the scandals. The entire entertainment world was captivated. This saga had become bigger than any episode ever aired. The tension built relentlessly, with every new detail pulling fans deeper into the web of deceit, power struggles, and raw human resilience. The Frost legacy that once shone so brightly on screens everywhere now lay in ruins, divided by secrets, lies, and the courage of two women who refused to stay silent. The drama showed no signs of ending, promising more heart-stopping moments, more shocking confessions, and more unforgettable confrontations that would redefine what it meant to fight for truth. In the glaring lights of reality TV fame, the players were locked in a battle that had captured the hearts and minds of millions, and as the sun rose on another day of court, the world waited breathlessly for whatever explosive revelation would drop next in this never-ending tale of betrayal, survival, and the unbreakable spirit of women scorned. One courtroom confession shattered the entire Frost empire. In seconds, what started as a divorce between Rasheeda Frost and Kirk Frost turned into a full-blown war of betrayal, hidden children, secret money trails, and years of lies exploding live in front of the world. But the most shocking part wasn't the cheating, it was watching two women realize they had both been manipulated by the same man for years. As Jasmine exposed bombshell after bombshell, the family crumbled, the fans picked sides, and the truth became impossible to hide. So now everyone's asking the same question: was Kirk Frost living a double life all along? Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more explosive updates, and stay tuned, because this story is nowhere near over.